Hello, and welcome to the Thirsty Witches podcast, where we talk about anything under the sun, from books, entertainment, self-help, and even a little spice. I'm Victoria.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Katalyn.
I'm sorry,
What's
guys.
up, Rose? Before we started recording, Kiara yelled at Emily to not say anything, and that's why I was giggling. But also, what's up, hoes?
What's up, hoes?
It's that time. We're just here to talk because that's what we do.
To shoot the shit, man.
Get some things off our chests.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, before we do that, we're going to do our quenchable moments. If you're new here, a quenchable moment is something happy or exciting that has happened to us over the last week or so that we want to share with each other and with you. So to kick us off, Victoria, what was your quenchable moment?
So my quenchable moment hasn't happened. The day after this episode goes up, I will be heading over to Kansas City for the joint bachelorette trip for my friend that's getting married in October. And I'm really excited because I'll be there for a while. I'll be there for pretty much a week. But yeah, we're going to be going to the Kansas City Renaissance Fair and to some speakeasies. And it'll be a good time.
Nice.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Nice.
Well, I want to go to Ren Fair, so I'm jealous of you. But I'm excited that you get to go to a batch party because I just went to one and it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun. Katalyn, what was your quenchable moment this week?
My quenchable moment is that in like a week, I'll be getting an arc for the second book in a duology. It's The Stone Queen by Ophelia W. Langley. I got one for the first one, The Borderlands Princess.
Yes,
this is the second. Yeah, so by the time this comes out, I'll have read it, and it will have been out for a month because it comes out July 30th. But I'm excited to get it because it ended on a cliffhanger.
You get a lot of arcs. Like, a lot of arcs.
Yeah, you do.
This is the fifth one I've gotten.
Are you on like NetGalley or anything?
No. I found these two authors on TikTok.
Every arc that I've gotten is from TikTok as well.
Yeah.
People
and the
readers.
Ophelia, she actually lives in Denver, turns out. So
cute.
Yeah. The only other arcs I've gotten have come to the P.O. box for the collective, but yeah, I'm just getting a lot all at once. So I'll have like a week to read it when I get this one. But it's really good. The FMC is like early 30s. She's not like stick thin. So
love that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Love that.
And there's a twist that I didn't see coming for the longest time, and it was really good. So, anyways,
yeah. Hate that. Hate the twist. Hate the cliffhanger. Hate it.
It was a good twist. Anyways, Kiara, what's your quenchable moment?
She just closed my door. Because she's reading the book now over on the couch.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering, I got my roommate to read Fourth Wing, so she's over there doing that. My quenchable moment is that this episode I think will be coming out after I go see her, but I'm going to see Taylor Swift on August 9th, the very last show at SoFi. And Jen, our lovely friend, again, has decided to send me bead kits to make all of our bracelets for the Taylor Swift show because I have time on my hands to make them.
Yeah.
So I will be making all of our bracelets that we're going to trade at our show.
Taylor Swift was just in Denver the last 2 nights.
Yeah, she's going to be in Seattle this upcoming weekend for us.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
I know.
Are you going to make a shit ton of bracelets?
I probably will. There's more stuff that's still coming. So we'll see. This next weekend, I'm going to try and go to the merch lines too and see if I can finagle getting anything. Because apparently the merch lines for Taylor Swift have been just so fucking wild.
Yeah, I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and seen some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw someone like waited like 2.5 hours.
People are getting there at like 3 o'clock in the morning to line up for a merch line.
No.
So, I'm gonna try and go probably like while people are saying like go while the show is going on because a lot of the merch trucks are outside the venue, so you don't need a ticket to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And just like go up to the merch truck and just like buy merch like
Yeah.
while the show is happening. And I'm like, that's so fucking smart.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna do that.
Nice.
That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah.
the Taylor Swift stuff is wild,
Yeah.
but you'll have a lot of fun.
I'm excited.
So as you guys know, I've been on a health journey, and with that, I've been looking for tools and products to help me get my health back in check. One of the things I've really been focusing on is staying hydrated, and a product that's really helped me with that is Liquid IV. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than with water alone. It's also come in super clutch when I'm out and about and I realize I haven't hydrated well enough. Plus, it's super convenient to keep in my bag or in my car in case of an emergency. Right now, you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code STAYTHIRSTY at checkout. That's 20% off of anything you order when you shop for better hydration today using promo code STAYTHIRSTY at liquidiv.com. Stay thirsty, bitches.
I'm
Anyways,
excited.
so I did add something to our outline. Typically, we don't outline these episodes because there's no point. But I mentioned earlier in the day when we were recording something else regarding a fire. So if you guys don't know this, my house is covered in river rock. It was built like almost 100 years ago, and that's just what they decided they wanted to do. I live really close to a creek, so they just covered the bitch in river rock, which ended up being a really good thing because my mom made steaks on our grill the other night and we had some bacon wrapped jalapenos up above cooking and it started a grease fire and was like up against our house. And if it had been made of anything but river rock, our house would have probably burned down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy
And
shit.
grease fires are so hard to put out because you can't put water on them because it's just gonna make
Yeah.
it worse.
So my mom was really upset because she ruined like $70 worth of ribeyes.
Oh my god.
Well.
Which still suffered through it and ate it. I cut off what I could that was burnt, and then it ended up being really good. But yeah, it was a little alarming.
That's wild.
So we got really lucky.
Well,
Good
we just
God.
had, you guys know this, we just had a fire in the complex next to ours on the 3rd of July. It was fucking wild. Like we're sitting there because you can see the fireworks at the park right there. You can see them from our balcony. So we're just like sitting on the balcony watching them. So fun. These kids just start screaming. They're like, the smoke, there's smoke. And in my head, I'm just like, well, duh, we're watching a fucking fireworks show. There's gonna be smoke in front of us. Like, but they were looking the other way. They're looking behind our building. And so I get up and I peek over because we're like on the end of the building, so you can like peek around. And there was black plumes like just coming up. And I was like, that's like a whole ass fire. Being from California, you know, the West Coast, like we're very accustomed to fires. Like we know what they look like. We know to look for. And I was like, huh, that's a whole ass like fire going on. And it looked like it was coming from our building. And so I freaked out and I ran inside and I opened up the front door and you could see all the way down the hallway to this window that led out to this parking lot on the other side of our building. Because the building that we're in now is like below the one we were just in. And so you can kind of see across the parking lot straight into the complex that is behind ours. When you drive up like that little back thing, you know how there was, and all the way through, all I see are flames, and I'm like, holy shit! One of the complexes across the road is on fire. Turn around, I throw my Berks. My mom and Emily are right there. I am booking it down this hallway. And I'm looking out the window and I'm like, the complex is on fire. And I'm screaming it down the complex across the street is on fire. I'm screaming it down the hallway. So of course people who are in the hallway are peeking their heads out too. So a lot of people were actually at the fireworks show. So there wasn't a lot of people there. So I run across the street and I'm standing at the gate that kind of separates my complex from their complex because all of these like emergency services were coming down that road. I'm like, I don't want to get in their way, but I want to be here to see this. And there was a couple that was standing there and I'm like, what's going on? They were like, we just got here, like, and it had just started. And they always tell you guys, like, and it's something that I'm very aware of. Like, if you're not around fires a lot, like, it's not something that you're used to hearing, but fires are so unpredictable and they move so fucking quickly, especially a house fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so important that if there is a fire around you in your house, like, one, if you want to save anything in your rooms, keep your door closed. If the fire did not start in your room, keep your door closed. Like, that is so important. Like, so important. But also, like, if there is a fire around you, get the fuck out as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Throw some sort of rag or like jacket or something over your face to cover your mouth. If you can get it wet, even better. So that you can breathe normally and the smoke isn't going to cause too much damage, because that's the most dangerous thing in the first few minutes is the smoke. That is, smoke inhalation will kill you, like, very quickly. So we're watching this house and it was just like, it was coming out of the roof and everything, and this unit backs up to a national park that they have, like a very small national park. So it was all of these like pine trees behind it, and I'm like, if any of those trees catch, we're fucked. Like, and people are like, they're like, what do you mean? And I'm just like, well, I'm from California. Like, I know how quickly this will work. So I'm sitting there like watching, like preparing myself. I'm like, do I need to run back to my apartment and grab things? Thank God there wasn't like a lot of wind that night, but I was like pointing up to the sky. My mom and I were pointing up to the sky at like for all these people to see. And we're like, you see all that ash up in the air? You see how it's still embering? Like, it's still on fire? They're like, yeah. And we're like, any one of those can land. And they were kind of coming over towards our complexes. Any one of those can land over here. And that the smallest ember will make the entire building go up. I'm like, that is how quickly it works. These people were just like so unaware. I'm just like, no, like, you have to be so precautious, like when it's like fire season, especially when like there's so many fireworks going on everywhere. Tons of firemen showed up. One of them got sick from smoke inhalation. He was throwing up. They had to like take him out on a gurney in front of us. Let me tell you, the firemen are fucking sexy when you walk around there. It's like, yeah. But there were so many of them. The cars in the car park in the units, those were catching on fire, and I'm like, they need to get those under control, because like engines and gasoline, like, that could cause more issues. And the entire time, all I'm thinking is like, God, I hope like there's no animals in there. I hope there's no people in there. Like, I just hope everyone got out. Come to find out the next day that there are 2 women inside, which is so sad. Their whole families had gone down to the park to watch the fireworks. And Emily and I had watched this woman, like these families started coming back, because the fireworks show ended while we were all still over there. These families start coming back. And it's one thing to be like, oh my God, can you imagine like coming back and your house is gone? But can you imagine coming back and your house is gone and you knew that you had family members like in that house at that time? Like, you had left them there. This woman comes running up and she like runs up really quick. A fireman stops her and she turns around and she just screams, "That's our house!" at like her whole family. And she just like loses it. And I was like, this is the most upsetting part about the whole thing, was her reaction. And then finding out that there was 2 women inside that had mobility issues, so they were unable to leave. Like, I could not sleep throughout like that night. And I just like, it really just reaffirmed for me that like fires are the scariest thing in my mind. Like, earthquakes I can get through, tornadoes, like, terrifying. Don't never want to get caught in one, but like those aren't as bad. Hurricanes,
I don't know. I mean, I would put tornadoes up there with fire, because it's the same.
Tornadoes are up. So this is how I kind of rank them. Hurricanes and nor'easters are the ones I worry about the least, because those ones you can see coming. They are tracked. You follow their progression towards you. You can leave. You have ample amount of time to get out.
To an extent.
You know, sometimes they can move quickly, but like, you know, with recent research and everything, we're able to track these things really well.
You have a much higher success rate of getting away and surviving.
Yes. I mean, look at how quickly everyone thought that this last one in Florida was going to hit somewhere. Obviously, it diverted a little bit and it hit an area that wasn't as invested as leaving. But the area that it had originally was tracking towards, they had all evacuated. So, like, if it goes in the trajectory that is meant to go, people have ample time to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put those ones like at the lowest category for me, just because we do have the like forethought to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have, I would say, tornadoes, because if you have tornadoes, if you live in an area with tornadoes, you most likely have, in most cases, a secure place to go. Most places in, you know, the middle of the country, tornadoes in your area are not, they're
You
not,
don't always though.
no, I'm saying for you, because you've had them, but they
I've lived through a couple.
historically, they are not known for that area of the U.S. And it's because of global warming that we are starting to see these things happen more.
My county has the most tornadoes in the state, if not the country. I think tornado touchdowns. We're on the edge of Tornado Alley.
I know what you're trying to say though. In places like Tornado Alley, people are very much so prepared.
Yes. So where it is the most common, they have, you know, the studies are happening more often. They have they're better able to like kind of like predict. Fucking people walk outside, they're just like, yeah, there's gonna be a tornado, and it's just like green sky. Like, you know, like the indicators. Like, you know, you stand there and you wait for it. Like,
I like lay there and watch.
Yes, you know. See, like it's not like with hurricanes where you can like track it, but it's just like you can like feel the atmosphere, and you're just like, you know, it's gonna happen.
Even though like we get so many tornadoes here, like this building doesn't have a basement. I'm on the lowest ground. We don't have a storm cellar. There are tons of trailer parks in this county that don't have storm cellars to go to,
which is terrifying. Which is absolutely terrifying. So I would never ever want to be caught in
I will say tornado. Too, even in like when I was living in Wichita, or even when we were even further in Tornado Alley in Missouri, the only reason why we had a secure location is because we had an actual house.
Yeah,
apartment buildings,
they don't.
Uncommon.
I know where to go though if one hits. Luckily, because I live on the ground floor. But like if I lived upstairs,
we did have evacuation centers, but a matter of whether you could get to them or not, it was like a completely different ballgame.
I think another thing too is why I don't have them higher up is because I'm terrified of tornadoes. So I don't live in an area where tornadoes are common. I will not live anywhere near them. My father lives in fucking Paducah, Kentucky. We'll never go see him. Like, you can come see me. I'm not going there. I know what happens. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And then you have the things that you can't predict. Earthquakes. We really can't predict those. They are terrifying, but they are things that I am used to. I know what to do in case of an earthquake, because this is where I grew up. Earthquakes are just a part of my life. If it's anything below like I think a 3.2, I won't feel it. Like, I just don't feel them because I'm so used to the movement of the fault lines here. After earthquakes, because they can be really bad, and apparently the area that I live in is probably going to be the worst earthquake outside of Yosemite exploding because of a certain fault line ridge.
Yellowstone,
the one with the Y.
You said Yosemite. Yellowstone.
Same difference. Whatever.
Very different.
I know it's very different. I was being sarcastic.
I know.
It starts with the Y. It's fine. But either way, that earthquake or Yellowstone exploding, like, I'm dead for sure. And then I would put tsunamis right there above earthquakes, because tsunamis most likely will be the trigger for earthquakes will be the trigger for tsunamis. There's an earthquake and you live on a coast, you better move. Like, you better fucking go, because if you see water being pulled out, you have maybe 2 minutes to get to safety. That should move so quickly. And you're fucking done. Like,
I'm just having more flashbacks to that 911 episode
where they took out Los Angeles. Literally one of my worst fears. I was lucky living in Simi Valley because we have a huge mountain range that the water would never get to us unless it was like just that fucking high. And at the top of my list, fires, because those things are so common. We deal with fire every day. We sit there, we play with fucking matches and lighters and stuff. Like, any little spark can like set a fire off, and they move so quickly. Like, living in an area, and Katalyn, you know, like living in an area that is like fraught with wildfires. They are so unpredictable, especially when you have the the winds going through the valleys, like it is terrifying. Like
Yep.
the way that they can move so quickly, and they can just jump from place to place with a tiny ember.
Yeah.
Like I sat there all night and I'm like, what would I grab?
Yeah.
Like what would I grab?
And like I know in my area, our only saving grace is our humidity.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no. We even with all the rain we've gotten this year, we're still technically dry.
We're still in a drought. The entire West Coast is still in a drought.
It's been the wettest summer like of my life.
We're supposed to have it's supposed to be worse this next winter because it's an El Nino year. Yeah, it's gonna be more wet. Which is good. Like the West Coast needs it.
Sucks to shovel though.
It's gonna be worse south, so I don't think it'll be too bad for you. Like it's gonna be drier for me up here than it will be for Southern California this next year.
It also depends on the way the storms go, because if we get upslopes,
it's kind of like it's in the lower Pacific right now, and it's moving up, and it's gonna hit Southern California and like that general area.
So they'll swoop up and around like this. So yeah, we'll get
it should come down. It might just bypass you, but you might still get some.
It depends if it hits that jet stream. Yeah, and then get stuck up against the mountains.
Yeah, but they're saying they're like, no, the Pacific Northwest is probably this is going to be a dry year for us compared to what it normally is, because that water is going to get pulled down to Southern California, which is good. The aqueducts need to be filled, and it helps with fires and stuff. If it's a wet year, then we don't have to worry about as much brush fire happening.
Yeah,
because that's the worst part.
I have no idea what the weather is going to be like for us out here this year. We need the cold in this area. We need it. We need it to kill the bugs, everything. If we don't get cold here, then it just fucks everything up for the rest of the year.
As much as I don't want the upslope, a couple blizzards would probably be good for us.
Yeah.
For sure. Man,
they fucking
weather.
Suck, dude.
Who would have thought?
Not where we thought we'd go with this.
Not where we thought we'd go.
Listen, it's been on my mind for weeks because of that fire at that house.
Yeah.
Like it took out 6 units. Like, and it technically only took out like the full unit and then like a little bit of the ones next to it, because it's like the 6 units. It's like 3 buildings kind of meshed together, and that's kind of how they configured their condo situation over there. But they had to close up all 6 because of smoke damage. Yep.
Man, gosh, something kind of sort of weather related. So when we did our books we're looking forward to episode, I didn't add this book because I thought it wasn't coming out until next year. Stand corrected. Checked the other day, and it comes out in October, and it's The Hurricane War by Thea Wanzan. I'm not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. If I'm not, I'm sorry. Please correct me. But she wrote one of my absolute favorite fan fictions.
Oh boy. I saw that one coming. Saw that one coming from a mile away.
I don't particularly want to tell you the ship that it is because it'll prevent some people from reading it. But the book itself is Southeast Asian magical fantasy. So
very cool.
Well, it
is based on a fan fiction that she did. That I've also read.
It's based on a Raylo fan fiction.
That's why I was like, I think I know what it is.
It's based on a Raylo fan fiction, so y'all know I'm not gonna fucking read that.
Okay, but they're ethnically very different characters. They're not white people.
Well, now that I know, it's all I'm gonna think about when I look at it.
Makes me sad. She's a fantastic author. She really just has superb writing. Probably the most popular one that she did is like Young Gods into Kingdom Come. It's like a duology, but it's just so fantastic.
Maybe her next stuff she writes, if it's not Raylo situated, then I will read it.
Yeah, and when I say that it's based on a Raylo fanfiction, I mean it's very loosely based. It's the concept of that fanfiction that she used. It's not like necessarily the characters and any of that. Because like I said, it's structured around Southeast Asian culture. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I'm happy for you.
I'm very excited to read it.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that and say that there's a book that I didn't put in our thing either because I hadn't read the first book yet, but I need the second book, and it's Iron Flame by
I was like, is it fourth wing related?
Yes, it is, guys. I will literally squeeze this into anywhere.
Have you talked about Fourth Wing in every episode?
She has. Every episode.
I literally told you guys at the beginning, I'm like, if I am not reading, it's all I can think about. It's literally all I can think about.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in time, this episode comes out at the end of August, I still have 2 months.
You'll be okay. You'll find another book.
You'll make it.
I'm unwell.
Show.
I am unwell.
Maybe I'll just wait till November to read Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
It's not it's not a bad ending. Like, it's not a bad cliffhanger, but it's just like
but it's one of those that now you just can't stop thinking about.
It's kind of like the same. I would equate the same reaction that I had at the end of Crescent City 2. That just like kind of oh shit type of situation. Like, I have to wait for the next book now. You could give that to me, and then I have to wait for the next book. Like, that's wild.
The books I'm rereading before I read the arc, the first one kind of ends like that. Like, it ends in a good spot, but you're kind of like,
I need to know.
Yeah, I literally need to know. I have so many questions about the dragons, about relationships, about that ending. Like, so many questions.
More questions.
So yeah, Iron Flames comes out November 7th. So we all know. I will be getting it and reading it that day.
I'm already taking a day off for CC3. I don't think I can do it for other books.
Oh man, I do need to actually take that day off.
I can't do it yet. It's too early. I also have to put in.
I have no one to tell that I need to take it off, so
I also need to put in for October still. But
yeah, I'm. Speaking of Flame and Shadow, do we want to try and do like a live read of the end of it? The three of us together.
We could.
I don't mean like record it, but like I started the phone chain anyway to see everybody's reaction to the end.
I would say yes, but we have to like mute ourselves.
Yeah,
because like we all read at different speeds.
Yeah,
and so like I don't want like Victoria being like, oh shit, and I'm like not there yet, and I'm like, what? Like, what? And Katalyn's like, please stop, both of you.
I can do that.
Because I read very quickly, but like,
I mean, it depends on what I'm reading.
And I also have like things. I also will be like the type of person who like slams the book against her face, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like I'm very vocal.
I remember.
It's a Tuesday. That's the day of the week the book comes out.
It's always a Tuesday.
I don't think I can read it in a day though. That's the only issue. I can read most of it.
Well, we don't have to do the whole thing. I just mean like the last maybe 10 chapters.
Depends on the time.
Katalyn, you already read the last page anyways first.
No, don't do that.
I don't when it's a digital version. I only do it when I have the physical copy.
All I'm saying is, if somebody leaks the end of Flame and Shadow,
I'm gonna lose my shit.
And you don't warn people
that it's the actual ending.
I hope you meet every inconvenience in your life possible. I hope you get every red light for the rest of your life. I hope you wake up every morning and step on a Lego and you're never able to find it, and that it just keeps happening.
I hope you always step in a wet puddle in your socks.
Wow.
I hope your coffee is always too hot
or too cold.
Never the right temperature.
I hope that your soda is never carbonated.
Damn.
I hope that your water is uncomfortably lumpy.
I hope that your water is always carbonated. No refreshing.
I hope that every time you have a headache, you can never find where your headache medicine is, at least for an extra 10 minutes.
Wow, you guys are brutal.
Every inconvenience in your life. Mm-hmm. And also, this is my warning to anybody that considers themselves my friend. If there is a spoiler out and you spoil me and I did not explicitly ask for it, I will block you. We are not friends anymore after that point. I've done it before. I will do it again.
Yeah, we can. Katalyn and I can attest to this. We've seen it. We have seen her do it.
So,
sure have.
Anyways, on that note, thanks for tuning in today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this weird weather situation that we had going on.
Fires.
So,
it's fine.
Let us know your thoughts on anything we discussed.
What is your guys' number one scariest natural disaster? Hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis. You let us know. Let me know.
Yeah.
My number one is a fire, but like everyone else, like let us know.
Yeah, hit us up on any of the platforms that we stream on. You can always chat with us in Discord. Or you can send us a cute little email, wherever. But for now, Kiara, will you take us out with an affirmation?
I will. So today's affirmation is, I leave behind anything that didn't go well today and welcome a new beginning tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Aw. Violence. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Make sure to tune in on Tasty Tuesdays and Thirsty Thursdays for all the episodes. And be sure to subscribe and follow our socials listed in the description. Make sure you like, rate, and leave a review for the podcast to help boost us across platforms. Helps more than you know. Have a lovely day. Remember, stay thirsty, bitches.